Hi there everybody and welcome back to another episode of Pillars of Eternity. Today we will be continuing to Durgan's battery, but first we need to gain access through the citizens of Stalwart.
Sure.
Okay. It's all through dwarves, so we need to check dwarf spirit.
Welcome. Have a seat by the fire if the cold's gotten into your bones.
Greed is soul. Celtic soul is a vibrant, solid thing, and as you reach out for it with your senses, you see your breath begin to fog in the air. You find yourself far above the ground, wedged into the junction of two branches. The moonlight is bright upon the snow, and in the distance, your quarry steps out onto the sides, as if onto the illuminated stage. You still your breath and draw back your arrow. Warmth bleeds back into your limbs, frost and snow giving way to the smoky interior of the 6 hours.
Welcome. Have a seat by...
Bye. Get that guy.
Yes? My thoughts wander often to the lost builders of this fortress we seek. They were erased from the world. I wonder, was it meant to be so?
Everything happens with a purpose, even if it's unclear.
And Alpazka would agree. A cruel fate is as perfect as a joyous one. Still, it is hard not to wonder why.
Sure. Yeah?
Let's try that quickly. I don't know what's going on. Definitely not the graphics. I really don't know what's doing this. It's only when my character's into the area. No dwarf is. Okay.
This is going to be fantastic. Just wait till they hear about this back home.
There's only one other dwarf I can think of that this actually happened with. What, two? One. See, that sound when it loads as well. Never happened before. I don't know what's going on with this game. The sky. See, I made some changes to my graphics card to be
Back
able
to
to
warm
play
your hand, Jay. What can I do for you?
Apex. You see a room dark and damp, suddenly it looks like part of the inn rather than a fault fortress. Through Hayflick's eyes, you admire rows of gleaming bottles recently dusted and polished. As you step back from the shelves, you look on with satisfaction and pleasure plate concealed in the stone.
You all right? I won't serve you if you're already drunk, you know.
Fare they well.
Back to warm your hand, Jay. Top quality bear pelt.
Dwarves.
Something I can do for you?
You feel for Wena's essence and almost instantly find yourself wrapped in darkness. It takes you to a moment to realize that you've plunged into a very old memory. But as far as your eyes adjust to the torchlight, you find yourself standing in a gloomy tunnel that you instinctively recognize as part of Durgan's battery. A handful of figures is in patchy cloaks and hoods, dwarves like you, hunch over a minecart and loading it with cloth. Rope bundles with which you can see the occasional flash of metal, the edge of the blade, or the burnished glow of plate. The other dwarves scurry with a curious mixture of haste and caution. They stack the bundles in a din of muted clanks and thumps, following the echoes of their ruckus down the tunnel with nervous eyes. Pay attention.
Pay attention! Sooner we get this done, sooner we can go.
Your voice is dry. Your voice is a dry whisper, and your nerves tingle with energy. You feel the same apprehension that the others do, but unlike them, you really sit still. You look over your shoulder just in case.
We're hurrying, Captain Gregor. Honest.
When you turn back, the others have redoubled their efforts, and you feel the pleasurable twist in your gut as they fill the cart. Being captain of the guard doesn't pay much, but it does allow you to visit the armory without raising eyebrows, and the coin master Zoltan selling off half of the battery arsenal, who's going to notice a few missing pieces. And besides, you've got a buyer lined up as long as you can move these goods out of the battery before someone squeals. As you surface on the memory, you realize that an awakening will be permanent for Winner. There may be others in town you could awaken instead. You look up to Winner and start it.
Sir? Excuse me, sir. You all right?
Okay. Maybe there's a tick. You can awaken there, so. Sorry about that scratching. That was me trying to have a sip of coffee. And my mic's in the way.
You've been busy since we last spoke. I want to thank you for what you've been doing for Stalwart.
That gives you a slow nod, okay. Your awareness settles beneath Renegal's skin. You feel yourself looking through her eyes upon a time-faded memory. You're standing in the end of the room, stifling the body as body heat of so many furious villages, not the neglected fire pit that's drawn sweat from your pores. Your husband waits by the door, about as far as he can get from the assembly. He holds Aldrich, whose cheeks are bright as he watches the adults bicker with wide, fearful eyes. You'd never realized how badly your neighbors stank, but something rank and repulsive rises from them as they back together in this room.
How much did the old snake pay you, Sina Hiode?
It's grinned, the head fisherman jabbing a furious finger towards the back of the room. Sin ahead, your Mayor squirms in the corner, pinned by the accusing stares of the entire village. Oh, those eyes, they're cruel, porcine eyes, and they're watching Sin ahead with a dumb gluttony of hogs staring at fodder. The only sight that turns your stomach more than Sin ahead himself trying to wriggle free of his eyes.
Maestro Galvino and I came to an agreement. It was for the good of Stalwart. I thought...
You thought you'd let a killer walk among us?
Cries of fierce agreement rise from the others. What began as a collective crumbling is swelling and congealing like storm clouds. You look back at your husband, he's whispering to Aldrich, but when you catch his eyes, he directs a silent supplication to you.
Let's go.
A wet smack draws your attention back to the other end of the room. Someone's thrown a potato, and Taena cringes and rubs his jaw. You went to shout at them all for the nonsense and waste, but you know that this is about to get the worst. Stalwart will have blood, and Galvino and his horror had the sense to flee already. You turn again, and your husband is beckoning you with swift chopping motions. But what stops you? Your breath is Aldrich. His little eyes are fixed on the churning mob, and you knew ever since you started hearing about those hideous purges that he'd see something like this one day, but did it have to be so soon? It's what drove the devil woman to madness, and now his little eyes have gotten big enough to swallow the whole scene, and now he's seeing you as part of it. You want to leave, but if you do, this is what your boy will remember: cowardice and madness about people, about Stalwart, about you. The people around you jostle and bark in their rage. They're dangerous animals, but animals nonetheless. They just need to be led. So you push your way to the end of the room, where Senehi trembles into a bottle of his own piss.
Enough!
Your voice boils from your throat. The others fall silent, watching you. They listen, dumbly trusting as you turn Senehi's death sentence into an exile. No one contradicts you when you explain that he's going to march out of the village alone into whatever miserable hamlet will have him. They silently agree when you explain that their hands are too clean for the likes of him. But there's something else forming behind their eyes, a kernel of trust and dependence. You feel it cuddling around you, encasing you like a pearl does sand. You only wanted to spare Senehi's life, not volunteer for his job, but you see so much fear shimmering just beneath their expression. Fear had got men marching through the mountains at your woodlands, and their purges at dying the slow and lonely death of a ghost town. And you see their grateful reassurance mirrored in Aldrich's expression. Perhaps this place is hopeless, but you realize that you can't leave it any more than you could leave your boy. The only person who isn't looking for you is your husband. He's shaking his head, his eyes on the door. You retreat from Reminkel's memory, vivid though it has nothing to do with Durgan's battery.
What's on your mind?
Nothing.
You did right in parlaying with bygone. Don't know that anyone else here is going to see it that way, but I thought you should know.
Do you know anything about Durgan's battery?
It's a fool's hope. A fantasy that's kept these parts inhabited longer than they should be. They say the Pargrunan dwarves developed Durgan steel, became powerful, rich. And then one day, they locked their doors and died. Nothing like a mystery to stir folk up. Most of Stalwart is convinced that some Pargran secret will save us all. But that don't stop them from whispering a prayer when they pass the old fortress. Something else you need?
Earlier you said I should make peace with Matron Berrigan.
About the only thing folk here haven't tried. Killing one more matron won't change things for long. Besides, her clan's flames that whisper. The one that attacked us was Wolf with many mouths. I'd know him anywhere.
They're cut from the same cloth, Aldrich. Only a matter of time before Bygone marches through that gap in our walls.
Mother's convinced that a magic forge will turn this frozen crack into a hub of civilization. She can't accept this place is dying. Me, I'd just as soon move on.
What do you do, young?
I'm a carpenter. Mother's a builder. So it felt like a good fit at the time. Not that we've got a lot of new folk to build houses and furnishings for. These days, I spend most of my time fixing up the stockade.
The reason to object is to find yourself staring at the fence post lying in a filthy slush of frozen mud. Snow gathers around your legs and thick trickles into your boots. A wind nips at you even through the layers of fur. You hold a wood chisel in one numb hand and a mallet in the other. Kneeling over the fence post, you get to work. Hour after hour, you hammer away, feeling the tools grow heavy in your grip as your breath fogs your vision. You want to do better work than this. You can do better work than this, but no one is building new houses in Stalwart. The last table you crafted was put into the fishery, and pike and trails now trace the fine dovetail joints you so lovingly carved. Now you mend the stockade because that's what's needed. The chisel slips skidding alongside your hand. You gasp, but you hold up your hand and see much to your relief, all 5 fingers wiggling back at you. You need to get out of this town. You pull back from Aldrich's soul. He's still staring at the fire, seemingly lost in his own memories too. Okay. This is sad because so far I've only found that one, so it's not just dwarves. But oh wait, this guy, get this guy awaken. Oh. Gonna return, okay. Okay.
Something I can do for you?
Awaken Greg
Halfrick's got me straightening the... Who? I don't...
Her face goes slack and she looks for a second as if she'd fallen asleep, but her eyelids flutter and after several seconds they open slits. Aloth raises his hand to his mouth, his face frozen in horror.
Thief? I'm the captain of the guard. Best be careful where you sling an accusation like that.
I don't think I like this choice.
Then you're not one of... I can make... Wait, please. You must be joking. I can't... I don't... Don't you worry about...
Load. Let's check with Taena.
Got to speak up? My hearing ain't what it was.
You feel the essence humming and buzzing, another personality unset into memories lies dormant within a soul as if it fit for sleep. The contours of the dormant soul are sharp, ragged. As you reach out for it, it seizes you violently. You're standing in a darkened feast hall. Sturdy tables and benches have been sacked against the door in the far end of the room. You know it won't be enough. A few dozen other dwarves from the tunneling crew wait with you, shovels and pickaxes in their shaking hands.
Sinove, please. If we go now, we can get behind the barricade. We won't do any good here.
He's right, and you hear agreement in the quiet murmur of the others. But Arms Warden Maroon ordered you to hold your ground here. Yet in those rising whispers, you hear the opening bars of mutiny. You never tolerate insubordination from your crew, and you aren't about to start. So you heft your pickaxe and swing it into the man's skull. He collapses, and the others fall silent. The acrid odor of urine rises from his body.
We're gonna go down fighting. Anyone who feels differently can settle it with me right now.
Your voice is hoarse from hours of shouting orders, but no one else moves. They cast their eyes down on the flickering torch as something thuds against the door. The others raise their weapons, picks, shovels, and a few swords, but they don't flinch. They don't dare flinch. Your own pulse pounds at your temples. You pull back from Taena's soul, but you feel Zenova's wrath and ferocity tugging at your soul. Her essence thrashes, lashing out at an unseen enemy. Zenova is powerful but dangerous too. Her fury has anchored her to old and threatening memories.
Got to speak up? My hearing ain't what it was.
Remember your battle in the feast hall. A tremor passes through Taena's face, and then her rumpled skin goes slack. After a racking cough, she blinks like someone slowly coming to consciousness.
That name. It carries memories of death, war, fury, the taste of blood. What do you want with it?
Her eyes have grown unusually clear. This one's far stronger. It will devour her from within. Replace weakness with strength. Durgans glances at her and lowers his voice. But it may not be to your benefit. I need to enter.
What trickery is this, stranger? You think a Pargrin would so easily betray her own people?
Her hands clench and unclench around the imaginary weapons, and Nova's essence stirs with the same battle ready for her. You've sensed in her memory from Durgan's battery she's dangerous beneath her. Taena's overwhelmed unconsciousness. I mean no harm, Zenova.
Lies! You'd empty our halls if Coinmaster Zoltan threw our doors any wider. Arms Warden Maroon warned us about the greed of outsiders. You'll stay out of Durgan's battery while I'm... You'd rob us of our steel and leave us bleeding.
To never loss of Taena screaming through the old woman's mouth. In this instance, Nova's psyche expands, filling you with a lifetime worth of memories and experiences.
Hammers of Durgan, ring loud.
What we're gonna do now is we're gonna respec quickly to get lore to 7, and then we'll just respec back into mechanics.
Sure.
I hope there's a proper thief and pillars too. I don't know how to do the mechanics type thing. Let's see if my fucking PC runs it.
Back to warm your hands, eh? What can I do?
You can completely change your defense. Damage. I do this. I don't really need a tank now, do I? Because then I've got one. Let's see how that goes. Against charmed, there we go, just makes him more tanky. Damage against targets affected by damage over time, there we go. So plus 3 damage reduction. So plus against area attacks, animal commanders against area attacks. When attacking the same target, arrows and deflection against ranged attacks. Do I have to do every level? Takedown. Yes. Accurate wounding shot. I think I'm gonna try this. Well, I'm gonna respec anyway, so why do I have to do these things? Doesn't really matter. Need to go back into mechanics. So let's just do this.
Yeah?
Got to speak up? That name.
What have you done? I need to enter Durgan's battery.
What trickery is this, stranger? You think a Pargrin would so easily betray her own people?
I mean no harm.
Lies! You'd empty our halls if Coinmaster Zoltan threw our doors any wider. Arms Warden Maroon warned us about the greed of outsiders. You'll stay out of Durgan's battery while I'm...
Would a stranger know of the gilded halls of the battery, or the shine to Abaddon, the patron of the all who labor?
Then let us share the words of our bond, brother.
Hammers of Durgan ring loud, may the anvil's deep music sound. The sound walls of the battery safeguard our works. A marauder and wilder like Abaddon's faith travail at the forge from the fires that brighten the ore. When seizes control of the ferocity that jolts down Sparrow's limbs, she looks up at you. At her furious gaze is one of the woman still lost to violent distant memories. It's too much for Taena dying consciousness. She shrivels and vanishes into Nova, now in full control, and Taena's body attacks.
Oh, and if I find something good, you can have half.
A simple test. That's settled.
I think that's gonna be it for this episode. Next episode we will definitely get Durgan's battery. So I hope you guys enjoy this and have a fantastic day. Just go to this guy. Cheerios.